Hey everyone, welcome to my video. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and today I have a special treat to show you guys. So the Tuttle twins sent me their new American history book, and I'm really excited to do a review on this one. And they wanted me to do something on Instagram, but I thought that you guys might like a peek in this, so I thought I would just do a short little video and show you their brand new book. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe button to get all kinds of homeschooling and curriculum videos. I do lots of reviews like this video here, and curriculum reviews are one of the big things that I do for all of my viewers. All right, so let's jump right into the video. So about 6 weeks ago, I was sent this book from the Tuttle twins company to do a review, and so far, this has been the only Tuttle twins thing I have read, so I'm very, very new to their products and to this company, so I don't work for them. I want to make that very clear. They did not pay me for this review. They just sent me the book. So before I say anything about it, I do want to put that out there. This is my opinion only. All right, so the basics about the book. This book is the second volume in the American history series that they have going on. This book covers years 1776 to 1791, and it has 250 pages. This is a hardback book, and it looks like a textbook. I do not have the first book, and I have not read the first book, so I went into this completely blind. It covers everything from the Revolutionary War, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, so you're going to get quite a lot of information inside of this book. But one of the main things that this focuses on is it's heavy on ideas rather than names, dates, times, places, things like that that you would find in a typical history type of textbook. This is not your normal history textbook. This is narrative style, or if you are familiar with Charlotte Mason, these are more like living books inside of one book. And I did read most of this book. I read about 90% of it. My sixth grader read the whole thing cover to cover, and it was his first Tuttle twins book as well. He really enjoyed it. As somebody who reads a lot, he is a huge reader. He really enjoyed this book here. He read it without me. We were kind of reading it at the same time, but you know, we had a couple of discussions about it, and he really just sat and read it over the course of like 2 days. Again, he's a really heavy reader. He reads very fast, and he really just wanted to read it as a book, and that's what he did. Most textbooks, you wouldn't find kids reading cover to cover that way, but because this is such a narrative style book and more like a living book, he was able to do that pretty easily. So this book is comprised of a bunch of chapters, and each chapter is almost like its own Tuttle twins book in itself. So although they build on each other, they could be read separately, and you would be totally fine to do that. Like if you wanted to add in, let's say you're studying American history right now, or you're going to be studying American history for the next school year, depending on when you're watching this video. This would be a great book to add into your lineup of books to read aloud to go with whatever you're doing. Let's say you're actually doing something on the Constitution. This would be a great addition to add in, and it adds such a different level of understanding for kids because it is such a narrative style type of book. So the kids go on adventures inside of this book, and their neighbor, who is a former Marine, which, you know, we resonate with because my husband's a Marine, really takes them through this whole historical adventure, you know, from the beginning to the end. And it is such a great, fun thing for kids to read about, and it's very easy for them to relate to. So this is kind of like a living book textbook combination, if that makes sense. It's really hard to explain, but you know, it's so much fun, and I think that this is a lot more fun than a typical textbook. And one of the things that I really liked in this book was in between learning about these battles and George Washington and, you know, how these events happened and occurred, we actually get examples of that in real life with real life current things going on in our country, which is a really neat thing to add in, and you don't really find that in a lot of textbooks. So I found that that added a whole different layer of things, and they could see these events almost happening again, or the same ideas from whatever they're explaining happening in current culture that they might have already heard about on the news. Like if you have World Watch or World Magazine like we do, you know, our kids are pretty up to date on what's happening in the country. So it was really neat to show the parallel between the two. So I like that. They definitely involve real life examples like that. And then they also pull in examples from the stories and history to the Tuttle twins' everyday life. So for example, in one chapter, they go off to summer camp and they had been learning about these battles going on during this time period, and they were learning the different battle strategies that each side had in the war. But then they had a capture the flag game, and the twins used what they learned from that battle and how that battle was won and applied it to their capture the flag game to win the game. So it's a really neat example of how kids can learn things and then apply them in their everyday life. So that was really a fun adventure. And then you could really tie that in and talk to your kids about how they use the same strategy and really talk to them about the things that they did. So not having read the first book, that was not necessary at all for me to know what was going on in here. It was really easy for me to catch up on who these kids were, who all the key players were in the books. I didn't feel like I needed to have the first book if I didn't want to buy it. Also, this is not a full curriculum. I know people are going to ask, that's going to be like probably the biggest question I get is this a full curriculum? This is not a full curriculum. This is more of a supplement. Now, could you use it as a full curriculum? Maybe. They have, one of the things that they have on the Tuttle Twins website is additional things to go with this, like worksheets and cool things that you can purchase. I think that would be a great addition to this. And, you know, I'm sure a creative mom could really, you know, stretch this for an entire year. But typically these are used as supplements and not as a full curriculum. Also in the book, you're going to come across different areas where they reference other books in the series that they have. My kid had read none of those books and he was still able to keep up. So if you see references to other books that maybe you haven't read in the Tuttle Twins series, just remember it is not completely necessary for you to have those books, although it does make a great addition. And I'm actually thinking about buying some of the books on there because my son did like this textbook so much. So that's also another great thing that you can look into as well. So if you are watching this video right now while it premiered, there is a contest to enter a trip for 4 to Boston, and you can get the details on that down below in my description box. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy that. The details for all of that will be down below in my description box, so you can go check out everything right there. And if you want to take a look and learn more about this book, I will have the link down below in the description box for you to go check out right now. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Happy homeschooling.